Alright guys, welcome back to Elden Ring. In this episode, our main objective is to complete Sellen's quest line. We're also going to begin Millicent's quest line. Before heading out for our first two encounters, we're going to load up on fire damage, so we're going to use the Magma Whip Candlestick, the Godfrey Icon, which is going to boost our damage for it, and we're going to use our Volcano Pots. And also in our Physics Flask, we're going to go Strength and Fire again. For this first boss, it's a very easy boss. It's in Limgrave, so it's one of your first bosses you'll encounter, but we're going to one-shot it pretty much with our build. But we need to find Sellen, and she's right there on the map. So you want to go to the southern Agil Lake, Grace, here. You've been here several times, but before we go there, we're going to turn around and go up here. We're going to take the Spirit Spring upwards to get our first Starlight Shard. We need 3 of these for the future. We're going to go ahead and get one now because it's right here. Anytime you see these little like statue cup looking things, you'll always find a Starlight Shard. The Starlight Shards are twofold. They're a currency and they are also a consumable. Do not use them as a consumable, whatever you do, because we want to use them as a currency, and they're finite. There's not that many in the game. You could literally screw yourself and not be able to do a part of the quest line coming up for another NPC. So do not use them as a consumable. Coming up here, there's going to be some wolves, so make sure your torch is out so you do not get harassed while you're looting the graveyard here. Of course, these are low-level runes. You don't have to do this, but we're trying to do everything in the game, so we're just going to try to loot everything. But as long as you have your torch out, you will not get harassed. And there's quite a few wolves here, and they will gang up on you. A short distance from the graveyard is our destination, the Waypoint Ruins. Like I said, this is a very early game area, but we skipped it because we were going to get other stuff. But right here, you just want to get off. There'll be some plants here that are poisonous. But with our fire damage, we'll just one-shot everything because we're over-leveled here. Overpowered. But you want to come over here where our marker is and go down the stairs. We're going to buff, although this is very unnecessary because this boss is super easy. But we're just going to show our prowess with our one-shot fire build here. It's practically a one-shot. We're just going to use Golden Vow and Hallow Shabriri. And we're going to go in and see how our Godfrey Icon is going to increase the damage of our Magma Whip Candlestick. You can just run in. Sometimes he'll hit you, sometimes he won't. It doesn't matter. Just use one swipe and it will kill him. He missed us there somehow. But Sellen is right behind this door. She's a sorcerer. So if you're a mage build, you definitely want to talk to her early on. But we're going to start our quest line because she has a fantastic weapon at the end of her quest line. But you can side against her if you want to, and you'll get a dragon, ancient dragon smithing stone. But we aren't going to do that. We are going to get her weapon because it's just too good. Even though it doesn't really fit our Indiana Jones build, it is just too good of a weapon. It's too much to pass on, so we're going to get it. So we're going to exhaust our dialogue, and then we're going to go to Mount Gilmere. We need to do our first part of her quest. For this first part of her quest, we need to acquire a sorcery. It is located in Mount Gilmere, so we're going to go back to the Craftsman's Shack. This is where we acquired the pulley crossbow. So we're going to go ahead and prep for the boss here. We do need fire damage, but we also need the jar cannon for sure, and the jellyfish shield. We're going to go with our pots here, so we need to do our pot damage, and we need some extra damage length with our bolts here, so we're going to get the Era's Reach Talisman. You're just going to stick to the right here. You don't want to aggro the virgin that's wandering about here. Plus there's a lot of demi-humans around, but we're going to shoot them. So we're going to get off right here, just behind the building. There's one sitting right here. We just whip him. And in the distance, we're just going to snipe all of them. But first you want to take out this sorcerer because he's a problem. Once you take him out, you're okay for now. You can just keep sniping. You won't aggro anybody here. Just work your way from left to right and shoot all the demi-humans. Once they're all clear, there's an item over here. It's a crown. You'll have several of these you'll get in this episode. Then there's the Starlight Shard number 2 coming up right here. We're 2 of 3 already. Now if you'll notice, there's the boss over there, and she's surrounded by a lot of sorcerers and help. We've already taken out one of them, but she's got a few more that we're going to take out first. The easiest way to kill this boss is to do this. Get on Torrent and jump up here on top of the roof. Then work your way over to the roof that's closest to her. Once you get to this next roof, you'll want to get your volcano pots out and throw it down here, because this one right here, this demi-human, will come up and harass you once you shoot your jar cannon for the first time. We want to go ahead and take out the sorcerer here, which will aggro the demi-queen coming up. She'll get up, but she won't know where you are just yet. We're going to go ahead and get our pots ready. Our pot build, which is going to always require our jellyfish shield to be ready. We're going to buff as well, because we're going to make short work of her. And we're not going to take a hit because we're up on the roof. Now, she could still hit you, but from this vantage, all you have to do is throw a few pots and it's game over for her. But she'll throw her magic at you, but with the fire pots, with the volcano pots actually, you'll have no problem taking her out from here. I just don't see an easier way of killing this boss. I just don't. You're safe, and she can't do anything. And that's it. There's also going to be another one of those demi-human chiefs down here too. See, she had a lot of reinforcements. So doing it this way is just for the best. You'll also get a memory stone. We haven't gotten too many of these yet. Now we got one. And we'll need some more before it's all over. You want to come over here where the demi-human queen was, and there'll be a grace, but more importantly, our first part of the Sellen's quest line is this guy right here. Interact with him, and you'll get the Comet Azure sorcery. So now we have one of 2 sorceries that we need to complete Sellen's quest line. So we're going to go head back to Limgrave and talk to her. Let's go ahead and activate this grace first. We can't complete the next step in the quest until we talk to her, so we need to go back to Limgrave and exhaust her dialogue, and she'll give us an item that we need in order to get to the next step.
Young apprentice, you are a tad so now.
Show her the sorcery and she'll give you what you need.
We can speak more. If you recall, it was for a tether to slide. I want glimpse, no matter what. My apprentice teacher, and but hear me out. I need your help. Perhaps splendid. This pleases you. Must
Agree to hear her story. Continue to exhaust her dialogue.
My apprentice with this Glintstone.
And she'll give you the Sellen seal breaker. This will unlock a magical sealed door that we need to get to the next sorcery. Now we're headed to Caelid. We have quite a few things to do in Caelid. We're going to start another NPC quest. We're going to kill a dragon. And we're going to get a nice katana along the way. And we're going to kill another boss as well, in addition to the dragon. But first we're going to mark it on the map. There is our location for the katana. From this grace, we're just going to follow the marker. Now be wary. There are dogs around, so always have your beast torch out, just in case. But if you head this direction, you shouldn't run into much resistance. We're taking the back entrance here. There'll be very few enemies to kill. We are going to kill this one guy, though, that's guarding the entrance. we could just sneak up on him and one-shot him. Now down here, this area is chock full of enemies, and those annoying Kindred of Rot enemies, and a lot of baby ones too. But if you get your jar cannon out, you can snipe this one guy over here that's just gonna cause you problems. And then there's other baby ones that are just gonna come towards you. We're gonna snipe a couple, but then we're gonna get our volcano pots out, and we're gonna chunk them at the areas that we think the enemies are. There's so many of them in this room, but if you throw your volcano pots, you can take out a lot of them at once. And they have those annoying pest thread spells that will hit you through anything. Even cover will not save you. It goes around cover for some reason. It's one of the most annoying projectiles to avoid in this game. I don't know how I didn't get hit there. But once the area is clear, you can get your prize. That just went over my head. See, they're everywhere in this room. But here is our prize, the Meteorite Ore Katana. This is going to take the place of our falchion that had the Gravitas, because this has it automatically. And you can't use an Ash of War on it. It's a unique weapon. But anytime we need to use Gravitas from now on, we'll just use that. And we'll take off the Gravitas on the falchion and use it for something else. Probably poison. We haven't gotten the poison Ash of Wars yet. Now we're loading up for our next encounter, which is a dragon. We'll need the Lance Talisman, the Blood Exaltation, and our Ritual Sword Talisman. We're going to use a regular Uchikatana plus 18. Not a Blood Uchikatana, a regular one, because we are going to buff this katana with Dragon Wound Grease. This does a lot of extra damage to dragons. It's pretty much going to be our go-to when we're killing dragons. But we also want to bleed the dragon as well. We're moving this to the morning because there is a Knight's Cavalry about that we do not want to deal with right now. We're going all stamina here because we're on our horse again. Just like the Fire Giant, we want to make sure stamina is king. So we're also loading up on even more stamina with the Pickled Turtleneck and the Turtle Talisman. This dragon will do Scarlet Rot to you, and it will one-shot you pretty much if you get hit by its Decay Breath. But with this strategy, you won't have a problem. We're going to buff as well, right here. Get as much damage as you can to the dragon immediately using this buff. We're going to get on Torrent because that's the best way to kill dragons. We're going to use our Dragon Wound Grease, and you just want to go to town on the legs. And you're just going to keep going back and forth. Once the dragon goes up in the air, you have to be careful because it has a charge AoE attack coming from above. You need to be wary of where the dragon is. But this is not a hard fight, guys. You're just going to keep doing this, and eventually the talisman will kick in once you get some bleed damage. You'll do even more damage. Now once you start seeing the Scarlet Rot run away, you want to get as far away from the Scarlet Rot as you can. Once it starts to dissipate, make your way back to the dragon. You want to kind of bait him into doing another breath attack because it makes him stationary and he could get more and more damage on him. And he's pretty much dead already. But just keep doing this and you'll have no issues whatsoever. Like I said before in one of my previous videos, dragons in this game are not hard at all. Well, at least these aren't. There are some other dragons later on in the game that can give you a problem. You'll also unlock another dragon heart. Well, you got a dragon heart from killing the magma worms because they count as dragons too for some reason. But you'll also unlock more dragon incantations. Now, I was going back and forth here. I should have edited this out, but I was trying to figure out what to use on the next boss. And I was like, well, maybe I should go full stamina. And then I changed my mind. And I was like, maybe I should use one of the cracked tiers. And I ended up going with one of the cracked tiers in addition to stamina. So I changed my mind here. We're going to switch it up. You can use stamina if you want all the way, but you really want to stun this guy, so we're going to go with the temporarily boost charge attack power. We're going to be using charge attacks with our iron balls again. We're going to go ahead and get what we need. We're going to do the Axe Talisman, Ritual Sword Talisman. We're going to keep the turtle. But we need the iron ball for sure, because it has the crag blade on it, which we put on earlier. Now, like I said, if it's nighttime, you will run into a Knight's Cavalry around here. So if you want to fight him, you can go ahead and switch it back to night. But we're on our way to our next part, so we don't really want to deal with that. Our next objective is to speak to an NPC named Gowry. He's in a shack up ahead, and he's going to begin our quest for Millicent. Millicent and Gowry are gatekeeping some of the best talismans in the game. We will not get these talismans for a very long time, but we're going to go ahead and initiate the quest. And you cannot get both talismans in one playthrough. You're either going to choose one or the other. But for us, we're going to go with the Rotten Winged Sword Talisman. So we're going to assist Millicent in her quest instead of killing her. You can kill her straight away and get, well, once she gets to Altus Plateau, you can kill her and you'll get the Millicent Prosthesis Talisman. A lot of people like that one, but I'm going with the Rotten Sword Insignia. It's an upgrade from our Winged Sword Insignia. Make sure you have the Beast Torch equipped, because this little pet dog of his will come at you. But you need to speak to this guy. Exhaust his dialogue and he'll give you a quest. He'll ask you to retrieve a needle in the swamps of Aeonia. Luckily for us, the swamp is very close by, and we can come from behind the boss and kind of ambush him. So the easiest way to get to this boss, you just want to come down here. This is the entrance back way into Sellia's sorcery town or whatever. But you want to come over here instead. There's also a scarab about, but we'll get that after we kill the boss. Once you get to this part right here, you get the title card, so just get off of Torrent and start buffing. Golden Vow, Howl of Shabiri, and make sure to use Crag Blade on your iron balls here. Now the key to this fight is do not cause too much damage to him at once. You need to aggro him, so just do a couple of regular R1s. Do not use a charge attack right away. Once he starts summoning, then you go in with your charge attacks. The reason is, if you do a charge attack right away, you'll do too much damage to him, and he'll go straight into his attack, his AoE attack, which will kill you instantly. So as long as you don't do that, he'll never do it. And he'll go down very fast once you start doing charge attacks. And then you can repost him, and these enemies will never even hit you because you'll be in the animation from the repost. And it's over. That's the easiest way to take this guy out. Now there is a scarab nearby, which we're going to get before moving on. It's very close by. We're going to go ahead and hit this grace here. Now that weapon that this boss just dropped is called the Commander Standard. It will do additional damage for your buffs. I'm not sure if we're going to use it yet, but it is a buff for extra damage. I have to be careful with buffs because some of them override each other, so I have to figure out which is going to benefit me the most. But I'm not sure about it yet. Now here's your scarab over here. Those annoying dragonflies might irritate you. Probably should have used a better weapon for that. You'll get the Sacred Ring of Light, Ash of War. And now we need to go talk to Gowry and show him the needle. He's going to ask for some time with it. But he'll unlock the secret of unlocking the gateways in the sorcery town. Of course, we already know what it is. We have to light the torches. But he'll give you this note. I believe it's also a map that shows you where they are. He'll ask for some time, so instead of reloading the area, let's go ahead and do some legwork. I'm going to go to this side of Grace here. This is where we killed the boss to get our Nox Flowing Sword. I'm just prepping for the next area. You're going to want your Holy Buff for your weapon, the Order's Blade, and you're going to want, let's see, I'm just going with my basic build here, basic whip, Nox Flowing Sword, Misericord, but most importantly you need the Jar Cannon, especially for this next part, but we'll need it as well for the future. And the Era's Reach Talisman, and we're also going to go with, I believe it's Holy Damage, or no, we're going with the Arsenal Charm so we're not fat rolling, as we have the Jar Cannon. We need to make our way to the rooftops and light some torches. It's easiest from this Grace. You don't have to deal with a bunch of enemies. You just take a quick left. You can try to climb up that tree if you want to, but it's easier to just go up these stairs and get on this one. Once you get to this rooftop, get off of Torrent, and we're going to snipe some enemies. First, we're going to get this Scarab here from a distance. He can be quite annoying to get, but with our Jar Cannon, it's easy. Now we're just going to snipe some more enemies so we don't have to deal with them. You can pretty much lock on to a lot of these guys from a distance. Those two especially are very annoying, but there's still one more we need to take out, I believe. We're going to get to this rooftop here. Work our way around. There is another one over here that we need to take out. I believe it's right here. Yep. We're going to get off Torrent and snipe this guy, because as soon as you try to get on the ladder, he'll usually aggro. Unless you're using the Crepus Veil, he'll pretty much hear you. So here's your second torch. We've already unlocked one because we did the boss fight to get the Nox Flowing Sword. That's number 2. And the next one is right behind us, pretty much. We'll get a Stone Sword key. Get on this branch. And it will take us to the next one. And that's it. We've unlocked all of the gateways in the town. Now we need to go back to Gallery. So, fastest way is actually from the swamp that we took out that boss. So we're just going to do that. Because there's some annoying sorcerers and other enemies I just don't like dealing with. It's a quick step from right here, so hop skipping away from this Grace. But he will give us the completed needle that we need to help Millicent. She's in a church and she's inflicted with scarlet rot, but this needle will ease her pain. So we need to use it on her.
I have awaited the needle. Will you give it? I will reward.
He'll ask for you to help her.
Millicent retained
Unalloyed gold needle.
Do you find it that I would show? Well, I'm the one mere bay she is, but the rotting side out the show. Now she's convalescent.
Exhaust his dialogue. And then we're going to head to the Church of the Plague. This place is inaccessible until you unlock the gateways. That's why we had to do it. So back to the same Grace that we started from earlier. And we're going to go up those stairs again. Instead of getting on the branch this time, we're going to go into the door. This is where the golden seed was, pretty much. When we first got the golden seed, it's right next to it. This gateway right here. And there'll be a Grace. Now be wary, there's a ball that's going to keep coming down on you. A lot of people farm this ball early on in the game to get a lot of runes. but it's not necessary for us because we've unlocked the rune farm. But early on, it's a pretty good rune farm, I heard, but it's kind of monotonous. Well, aren't all rune farms monotonous? But yeah, here it is. Here's your ball right there. It's going to keep coming down on you. Now, there's some kindreds of rots around the perimeter of this church. We'll take them out shortly, but right now, we are going to go speak to Millicent. Now, there is some very important items around this graveyard you'll want to keep coming back to. Later on, we're going to be crafting rot pots, but we can't do it right now. But there's these toxic mushrooms that you need to craft them, and they infinitely respawn in this church area, so this is the best place to farm them. Go ahead and get our sacred tear and speak to Millicent. Now, there's also sacramental buds around too. But she's right here in there, just in pain. Give her the needle. She'll need some time after she uses it, so we'll just reload the area. Exhaust her dialogue, and then she'll need some time. So we'll just reload the area. There's also some Aeonian butterflies about, and we'll need those for our rot pots later, and our rot grease and all that. But we'll need to get to the Lake of Rot first. That's not going to be for a little while, so we're going to stock up on them though, whenever we can. Now we'll speak to Millicent. She's up right now.
My apology. Everything, even
She'll give us a talisman.
I'm considered the needle of my destiny. It's all thanks to my name is Millicent.
Once you've exhausted all of her dialogue, we can move on to the next step in Sellen's quest line. But there is a problem. We have quite a few enemies around the perimeter here. But first, we're going to go ahead and advance the quest line. I forgot we need to go back to Gowry's shack and speak to Millicent again to get her to move to the next location. Gowry won't be in his shack, but Millicent will be there. So we need to get her to move to Altus Plateau, so we'll do that by speaking to her. Again, make sure you have the torch available because that dog will ruin your day and might even kill an NPC. So it's very dangerous every time you come to this shack if you don't have the torch out.
Oh, something about... So I decided I've only found... Perhaps... Well, I must...
Now we can go back to the Church of the Plague. Well, no. We need to reload the area yet again and go speak to Gowry again. All this exhausting dialogue stuff, I swear. If you don't exhaust the dialogue, they won't move to their next locations and you won't get the next steps. It's just, if you miss one piece of dialogue, you have to go back and do it again. So just go ahead and do it now. It's a From Software thing.
Thank you for giving them. Understand? You've been as thanked at the lost. Oh, indeed. It seems the men, however, she know, as I've is to be forgotten.
He'll unlock some sorceries for you if you want. And we'll go. Now we're going back to the Church of the Plague. So we're going to clear out the area because we need to make our way up to this other part here. We're going to go ahead and do some retooling. We need the cestus out. We're going to get the dagger talisman and the concealing veil just for this first little part here. But we're also going to need holy damage for the undead that are around here. But first, Nox Throwing Sword. We're going to loot the area of all the sacramental buds. The more sacramental buds we have, the better. One Nox Throwing Sword will take both of these kindreds out. We're going to loot the area again. I'm going to show you where all the mushrooms are. Here's your first one over here. I believe there's 3 locations you can get the toxic mushrooms. Another sacramental bud. There's another toxic mushroom here. And there's a arterial leaf. Now we can kill this kindred from behind. You'll never see us coming. And there's one more mushroom over here. That's all the mushrooms, I believe. And we can get another Starlight Shard. And this is the last one we need to do what we need to do anyway. There are more in the game, but we're going to get this one here. We'll have enough for our quest line later. Now right here, we're going to get off Torrent. Get your whip out and buff it with Holy Damage Order's Blade. You're going to be ambushed by several enemies coming out of the ground here, but with our Holy Damage, they will get one-shotted. Just whip everything that comes out of the ground. I believe there's 2 spawn areas. That was just the first one. I believe there's one more coming up. Right here. You can pretty much one-shot them before they even get out of the ground, which is good. Once all of that is done, we're going to use Concealing Veil here. We want to make sure we one-shot this guy pretty much. He's a very annoying sorcerer. Does very high damage. But we're going to crouch, make our way, stay to the left here. We don't want to draw his aggro here. We're going to loop around, use our buff, Royal Knight's Resolve, get behind him, and backstab him. One shot. Done. That's just the easiest way. Now we need to unlock the area. It's a hidden area right behind this tombstone here. Now this is the Sellia Hideaway. This cave is relatively straightforward, but there are some enemies that are annoying, especially down at the bottom, which we'll take out later. The Revenant. We haven't seen one yet, but usually holy damage is best, but we're going to use fire damage. I found fire damage just worked better in this case. But that is one of the most annoying enemies in this game. Very high damage, very hard to dodge. It's just, if you find an easy way to kill it, it's better that way. We're going to go with our fire build here for our physics flask. Now there are a lot of illusionary walls here, so you can use the Margit's Shackle if you want to unlock all of the areas at once. We're going to need our jar cannon here, and we're going to use the Arrow's Reach Talisman for sure. And we'll need our volcano pots, most definitely. We're going to craft even more of them. This is for the Revenant. But yeah, there's a lot of illusionary walls here. You can use Margit's Shackle, like I said. But there's this first guy here. We're just going to whip him. Your basic whip pretty much one-shot everybody right now. Here's your first illusionary wall. Take out this guy. Another illusionary wall. Now, right here. We can get 2 for 1 here. It's tricky, but you can do it. So what we're going to do is stay right here and aim straight ahead. You'll see there's a guy crouching right here. He's hard to see, but there's a snail working his way to the left. Once his shell is in the middle, we can unleash a bolt, and it will take out both enemies at once. I always like going for 2 for 1s. I think they're fun to do. So we're going to do it here. Just wait patiently until the middle of his shell is past the middle of that other guy there. So we're going to do it right there, and 2 for 1. Now we don't need the jar cannon right now, so we're going to switch up a little bit. We're going to put on our fire scorpion charm. There's a guy right around the corner here. Work our way across these crystals. jump over here. There's some snails just camping out here. Now there's some enemies here that are annoying, so I'm going to use the volcano pots. Just throw one here. It should take this guy out. Well, it might if you throw correctly. And there's another one. He won't aggro either. The other one won't aggro on you if you use the pots like that. And there's one more down there. Once we loot the area, we'll throw one more. Right there. Now you have two choices here. You can go for the boss of the area, which is not necessary for Sellen's quest, or you can go ahead and get the step for Sellen's quest out of the way. We're going to get the step for Sellen's quest out of the way, and then we'll take out the boss. You don't even have to kill the boss. It's 3 crystal enemies, but like I said, you don't even have to take out the Crystalians if you don't want to, but there's 3 of them. There's just one lone sorcerer here. We're just going to charge him once we get a window. And there is the door that we need to use the key on. And we'll get our next sorcery that we need to complete Sellen's quest line. Stars of Ruin. Alright, now it's time for Revenant, and this guy is annoying as hell. I hate these enemies so much. They are so hard to kill and they're very annoying. So what you're going to do here is we're going to use fire damage, we're going to use our pots, jellyfish shield, all that jazz, because this guy is a pain in the ass. I can't stand these enemies. One of my most annoying enemies I have faced in this game. Jellyfish shield out. We're going to use our buff even. We want as much fire damage as possible here. Just make sure he comes at you. Use your buffs and just start chunking pots. You should be able to just aim them, free aim. Well, I missed one there, but try to just get him as close as you can to him and just and take cover. He'll try to poison you. But with all this fire damage, he's not going to last very long. I mean, holy damage is what he's really weak to, but I found that fire damage just works better. There's a Ghost Glovewort 4 here. We need to get 10 of these. Well, we need to get 1 through 10 because we're going to need to buff our Mimic tier later on. We don't even have the Mimic tier yet, but it's going to help us in the end game, one of the end game bosses. And if you've played this game, you pretty much know what I'm going to use it on because it's a very hard fight. It's a very hard boss fight. And I just found Mimic tier is just less headaches. So we're just going to start working on getting those Ghost Gloveworts when we can. And that's a level 4 that we just got. Now, on to the boss. We're going to make our way back to where we were. It pretty much takes us back to where we were anyway. This is where we killed those dudes. And this is where we have the choice to kill the boss or go to Sellen. So we're going to take the cave now. All this along the way are some snails. They're going to drop from above, but just whip them. They're nothing. And then we'll just buff for the boss. We'll need to drop down here. There's one snail there. These snails are nothing. They're just absolutely nothing. One shot with the whip and it's over. Cannon fodder. We're very close to the boss. Like I said, there's 3 Crystalians at the same time. But for some reason, some of them are passive. They kind of wait their turn sometimes. Not all the time, but I find taking out the spear guy is easiest first. But you really want to go for the sorcerer first, really. He's the one that's going to cause you the most problems. There's going to be a few more snails that drop down here. I throw one volcano pot at this one. It's annoying. And one more. And here's the boss. We're going to buff our normal buffs here. Golden Vow and Howl of Shabiri. And we need our Cestus. The Cestus is always going to be the best weapon to take out these Crystalians. Our tried and true backstab, follow up with a slam, ground slam, and then just riposte. That's pretty much all it is. But you just want to aggro this guy first. Try to get behind him and get a backstab. They're very slow and easy to backstab. That's just the easiest way to start your attacks. Then follow up with the slam, and then either a charge attack or a riposte, whatever comes first. Then I like to go for the sorcerer, because the sorcerer is the hardest one to take out. With he's going to hit you from anywhere with his sorcery spells. So we're just going to backstab him now, finish him off. It doesn't matter if you get hit by the other guy. Take the sorcerer out now or you'll regret it. Now we're just going to wait for our opportunity to backstab this one. These guys are very easy to kill. Just this combo never fails. And that's it. We're not quite done in the cave yet. We still got one more item to get, and then we can make our way out. We're going to use our Nox Flowing Sword for those enemies that we're going to kill that are guarding our last item. Just a bunch of sorcerers and a crowd. We just want to one-shot them. The basic whip won't do it. I believe this is a spirit summon that we're going to get. So you want to make your way back out where you came. Work your way up here. And you need to find a crystal to get onto. It's kind of hard to find sometimes. Just make your way to the top and find this crystal here. And then drop off. And then drop off again. You'll take some fall damage here if you miss your jump like I did. Or your ledge there. But we're just going to run in and one-shot these guys. And that's it. You get your chest. And we're done with this area. Crystalians ashes. Now you can summon those crystals enemies to help you out. Now we need to head back to Sellen, and she's going to reveal a secret to us, now that we have the other sorcery. I should have exhausted her dialogue. I forgot to exhaust one part of it, but we'll do it later. I forgot. She'll give you some Starlight Shards, but I forgot to do it. About the location of the last sorcerer that you found. We need to go to the Tombs of Word, Site of Grace in the Weeping Peninsula, and make our way over to the left there, where that poison area is. Because that's where the real Sellen is. It was just a projection that we were talking to in the Waypoint Ruins. The easiest way to get here is right here, but we're going to make our way to the church here, because why not? It's right here. We have not explored the Weeping Peninsula yet in all of our time playing this game, but we're going to do a little bit of it here. This is also where you'll get another painting area, I believe. Yeah, we can get yet another sacred tier in here. And unlock this grace. We want to make our way into the Witchbane Ruins. It's very close by, but you need to be wary because the marionette soldiers are they will follow you. They're very aggressive. They will follow you all the way into the area where you're talking to Sellen, and they can kind of ruin your day, so be careful. We're going to go ahead and just get off torrent and backstab this one, but there's always going to be one that follows you most of the time, but try to be low-key and just get in here as fast as you can. We're going to speak to Sellen. There's a sorcery right here. Speak to Sellen as fast as you can, but keep the eye on the entrance because marionette soldiers will come at you. They will come unless you take out all of the enemies. Just make sure there's nobody coming on your 6. And retrieve the Glintstone, Primal Glintstone from her body. Once you've done that, we need to reload the area, unfortunately. Because we need to talk to Jaren. He was the guy that was at the Radagon Festival. So, unless you've spoken to him and moved him before, you'll need to do it now. So, he wasn't at Redman Castle when I tried, so all you have to do is just reload the area and go back here again. We're just going to do the same thing we did before. Try to be low-key, try not to aggro too many enemies. Best way is just coming from this location here. One backstab, get in there and speak to Jaren as fast as you can. Exhaust all of his dialogue. He's already killed her. Once you have exhausted the dialogue, we'll go to Carrier Manor. This is the upper level side of Grace. We've been here before, but now we need to kill a boss. We're going to load up on lightning damage now, because this boss is weak to lightning damage. Not only is that, but she's in water, which makes it even better for us. So we're going to stock up on lightning damage all the way. And we're going to use our Sonic the Hedgehog ability with the falchion. But you want to make sure everything is lightning for here. Everything. Lightning Scorpion Charm, Lightning Physics Flask. And of course our Sonic the Hedgehog that we put on the falchion. Be very careful with this dog here, this wolf. Just be low-key. Approach from this area, you won't aggro him. We're just making our way to the boss. Now there's a lot of enemies ahead, but we can take the scenic route here. Jump over here. You'll kill a few basic enemies, and then you'll be at the boss pretty much. Well, we'll need to snipe one guy. And there's a sorcerer that actually hits me. I didn't see him coming, so be wary of him. We kill that guy, and there's another one over here. Now you want to get your jar cannon out, but here's where the sorcerer actually ambushed me somehow. There are several enemies down there, but you want to take out these two enemies with the jar cannon. I tried to be as cautious as I could, but he still found me somehow, and there he is. If I would have been more cautious, I wouldn't have taken a hit here. I took 2 hits, actually. No worries. You want to go ahead and get ready to jar cannon these two guys. Shoot this one in the head. And there's one more. But he's kind of out of your view. You have to strafe just a little bit, but you don't want to go too far to the right because you'll aggro all those enemies you don't want to. Now it's time for the boss. This boss is super easy with this build that we just made. With the Sonic the Hedgehog ability, we're just going to roll into her and stay near the legs, and it'll be over before you know it. Of course, we're going to use Golden Vow as well, and Howl of Shabiri. And the only thing I like to do is just roll into her. If you stay near her, the legs of the horse, it'll be over so fast that you won't even know you killed her, pretty much. So we're just going to keep spamming the skill, though. Every time you do a full roll, just roll again. So as soon as you get a chance, just start rolling into the legs. Just roll into the legs, and it's over, guys. I mean, she's so weak to lightning because she's in water. Anytime you see an enemy in water, consider lightning damage because it can really benefit you. But plus we used the physics flask, which did even more lightning damage. So we really annihilated that boss. Now we need to make our way to a hidden area. The hidden area is going to be where Sellen's new body is. And we need to transfer the Glintstone, the Primal Glintstone that we just got, and into this new body. Now be careful, there's a dragon nearby that you can't kill. At least not all the way. You can make it move to another location, but I've never been able to kill it straight away. But we're just going to stay away from the dragon for now anyway. But we're looking for some ruins here. Just follow the video. Not really sure where it is myself. It's near the Renna's Rise, I believe. I don't know how they expected some people to find some of these areas, because I would have never thought to look here. It's right here. We just need to roll into the area. Like right there. We've unlocked it already. Just kill this annoying enemy or just run away. There's an illusionary wall at the back of the room. You'll see there's these weird stationary people in suspended animation. You'll figure out what that's about later. But this body here, just transfer the Primal Glintstone to it. She'll thank you, and she'll say she's moving to Radagon. Now, we have not explored Radagon in its entirety yet. We'll do a little bit of it, but we're not going to complete it just yet. We'll do that pretty much probably in the next video, but we are going to do some of it. Because we need to kill the boss in order to complete her quest. A lot of people kill this boss before Radagon to unlock Lindell, but like I said before, we thought Radagon was easier with our build, so we did that. But we're back at the Radagon Academy. Now for here, we're going to go with some fire damage because these enemies are kind of tanky. They're kind of weak to fire, so we're going to do that. Crepus Veil to avoid attention. Fire Scorpion Charm. And Volcano Pots. I'm going to get Misericord out for our first backstab up here. I'm not exploring the area fully. I'm missing quite a few areas. But we'll come back in the next episode and clear the area out completely. Just backstab this guy. This guy will investigate. We'll just use Nox Falling Sword, kill him through the tombstones, and work our way over here. And use Nox Falling Sword again to kill this guy. We'll run over here and kill a few more. Now over here is an ambush. Quite a few enemies are going to spawn. But what we're going to do is we're going to use Volcano Pots because there's just too many of them. Just start spamming a few. You'll kill at least 4 or 5 of them before they even come at you. There's just too many of them. And they'll take your focus points away. Once they're all dead, we'll just make our way to the next section. We'll use our whip here because Nox Falling Sword, for whatever reason, didn't kill this guy. Or these 3 guys. One charge attack will take 3 of them out. Drop down here. We are using the Giant's Braid for another time here. Now we're going to throw a Volcano Pot here to take out the 2 marionettes. Sometimes you won't get them all at once. We got them. You'll get some Spirit Ashes. There's a dog down here. We're just going to take him out because he's annoying. Now we want to get our Jar Cannon out to take out this scarab that's in the distance here. Just take him out from distance and less of a headache. We'll get the Spectral Lance Asher Boar. Very good Asher Boar. Nox Falling Sword back out. We'll need that shortly. We're going to take out a mini boss coming up. We just got a few more enemies to take out along the way. This next guy on the right here, he's very tanky. Even one shot didn't kill him, so just be wary. There's a couple more and a dog up here. Ooh, this guy almost got me. Charge attack, you should take both of them out. Well, I like to take the dog out first. There's one more dog here. Just one lone room down here. This is where the scarab was that we just took out. Now for the mini boss, we're just going to use our Nox Falling Sword to take him out. Quite easy. It won't take many hits. This is where we were when we went to Volcano Manor in the back entrance. We got on that lift and then we took it all the way down. But now we're going to go straight ahead. We're going to use this statue for cover. Lock on to the enemy. Just kind of come around here, hit him a few times. He pretty much won't even get an attack off. This Nox Flowing Sword is just too good right now. You'll get the Gravity Will sorcery and a Somber 3. Now, be careful when you get on this lift. You can miss your jump and just fall to your death. I've done it. It's very embarrassing. Just be patient and drop down. You need to make your way to the top. Next level. We are going to loot the area later. There's more things to get here. Like I said, we're not getting everything right here. We're just trying to get to the boss right now. There's actually 2 bosses we have to kill. But for now, we're just going to come up here and get this grace. And prep for the boss. We want to adjust our physics flask. We're going to go with dexterity now, because we're using the Nox Flowing Sword for the next fight. But stamina as well, always a good choice. I know there's an item behind me, but we'll get it later. There's a lot of hidden areas in this area, so just run forward. Nox Flowing Sword, take these 2 guys out. We got Crepus Veil, so we're not making any noise, which is going to be an advantage for us. Nox Flowing Sword for these 2 guys, and this one here. They won't even get their spells off. Now be careful. You might aggro 2 sorcerers from up top if you make too much noise. But for us, we didn't in this case. But just look at the stairs if they're following you. If they're coming down the stairs by now, then you'll know that you've aggroed them. But if they're not coming by now, then they're not going to come. Ritual pots are very important. We need to start stocking up on these, because this is where it's going to craft our rock pots. Now, I don't like fighting these enemies on the way to the boss. It's not worth it. There's nothing that's going to gain. We're not going to gain anything from it. So we're just going to run forward and start prepping for the boss. All you need to do is hit this boss twice. It will cause a lot of damage to you, especially with our vigor level, but with our buffs, it's only going to take 2 swipes with the Nox Flowing Sword's flowing form. You just got to wait for your chance. He fires sorceries at you. You just got to be careful. Get your hits in when you can. You're basically waiting for a charge jump attack, because that's when you can get 1 free lick in. But if he does the sorceries, just kind of dodge them. It's very easy to dodge the sorceries. But just wait for your chance. Right here, every time they do the double slash or the slash, you can get 1 shot in. I still didn't get a shot in here. This is what you want to wait for. You can get 1 attack guaranteed, and then you just get to wait 1 more chance for another attack. And it's over. You get another memory stone. Quite a few runes for that boss too, like 40-something K, I think. Well, with our Gold Pickle Foulfoot and Golden Scarab. I'm going to buff our dexterity up a little bit, because we want to make sure we kill this next boss very easily. Now, again, we're not going to get everything, but we are going to get a cracked pot here. There's another cracked pot over here. We're going to go ahead and detour and get this one. You can just run and backstab this guy. We still got Crepus Veil. Just 1 Nox Flowing Sword. Take all these pots out as well. The Nox Flowing Sword is just so good. I mean, the range on this thing. You can do such damage in a wide area. One of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion. Some people would disagree, but you've seen what it can do already. Alright, up here. There is a Stone Sword key. I believe this is a Stone Sword key. Yep. Now, we want to make our way to the left. There is going to be a Virgin coming out. Be careful. Be low key here. You don't want to aggro it. Over here is a Golden Seed, so we're going to go ahead and get that. There's also a crab here, but we don't want to kill it. It's not worth it. Not worth our time. Now you want to follow behind the Virgin so that you do not aggro him. With Crepus Veil, you're in good shape, so just drop down right here. And you'll encounter another booby trap. These balls are going to keep coming down on you. but it's very easy to avoid. All you have to do is come down here, grab this item, and stick to the right. It will never hit you. As long as you stay to the right here, the ball will never hit you. It's never hit me anyway in this path. For some reason, it just never hits you. Just stick to the right. And now there's an annoying enemy ahead of us, but we're going to make it easier on ourselves, because why not? Dagger Talisman for the win, and Darkness for the win. Like I said before, Darkness is one of the best spells in the game. Whenever you have a guy aggro on you like this guy, just use Darkness. One spell cast, he's just going to stand in there and look at the sky for some reason. We're going to buff our dagger and backstab him, and just finish him off with one swipe with our whip, and it's over. Why waste your time with this guy when you can just do that? Now we're going to unlock a shortcut. Just jump down here, take out this sorcerer, some fodder. There's a knife down here we need to get for some more affinities. Whetstone knife. We're going to unlock this door. If you're struggling with the boss, this door will be a godsend for you. One Nox Flowing Sword for this guy, one for you. And we'll just use a volcano pot to take out this group down here. And now we're just going to jump down here and take out this sorcerer behind the door. Just get him to come close to you and just hit him through the wall. Why deal with his BS? And you'll get the Glintstone Wet Blade. Alright, now it's boss time. I know there's a crossbow and all this other stuff we can get, like I said, later on. We just want to kill the boss so that we can complete Sellen's quest and call it a day. Now for this boss, I have a very particular setup that I use for this boss because I want it to die very quickly. And so we are going to do that. This is going to be the proper way to use seppuku. We didn't use it proper in the last video, so we're going to do it proper this time. So offhand buff first, then main hand. Do it that way and you'll get double your pleasure, double your fun. So let's go ahead and prep. All we need are the two falchions that have the seppuku on it for the weaponry. We're not going to use anything else for weapons. Just those two. We're going to dual wield them. So both of the blood falchions with the seppuku. Blood exaltation, of course. Ritual sword talisman. And also the winged sword insignia. And stamina never hurts. We can always get the gold scarab at the last second. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to buff right away because the buff doesn't last very long. So what we want to do is, we're going to kill two of the enemies first that get her to come down. Then we're going to completely buff everything that we want to do. Quickly kill her in the first phase, and then quickly kill her in the second phase. Our buffs will not have run out yet. But we have to be fast. It doesn't matter if you take damage, you can always heal up during the first phase. So just look for your first two victims here. Take out two of them. Make sure they're dead though. I missed one of them and I thought they were dead. So I had to kill one more, I thought. So apparently I didn't kill the second one. I sure thought I did. We're just going to take cover and buff. Howl of Sibiri and Golden Vow. And we need to buff with the falchions. So first the offhand. Offhand first. Then the main hand. Then heal up. And then drink your physics flask. And you have to be fast because your buffs will run out. Quickly kill the rest of the enemies. I got hit here, so I had to heal myself. As long as you're fast, you shouldn't have trouble. Just left bumper. Well, for the Xbox, and you see how fast that was. And as soon as you get in the second phase, just charge her immediately and just spam her with the left bumper. She'll die before she knows what hit her. It's over. Well, almost. Most of the time she'll die in that one flurry, but she didn't die right away that time. But as you can see, it's so fast with this setup here. And now all we have to do is complete Sellen's quest. So we need to kill Jaren. You have a choice. You can side with Jaren or side with Sellen. I'm siding with Sellen because her weapon is just too good. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's just too good to pass up. You can always come back in New Game Plus to get a dragon smithing stone if you want. But I'm choosing the weapon. You can hit the Grace. I'm going to level up again. I'm Dexterity again. We're just going to use Nox Flowing Sword for the boss. Or for Jaren here because it's just too easy. You won't have a problem with this boss because... with this NPC fight because Sellen's going to be fighting him as well, and you could just use that as an opportunity to come from behind and just keep using Nox Flowing Sword. It'll be over before you know it. Like I said, if you want to side with Sellen, take the gold summon sign, which is what we want. If for whatever reason you don't want this awesome weapon, then take the red summoning sign. But we're just going to wait for opportunity. It's basically just waiting for an opportunity to hit him. But Nox Flowing Sword a few times, and he's already down to half, 3/4. Oh, we missed him there, but he'll die very soon. We're just going to backstab him here. Well, for some reason that didn't hit him. Sellen might finish him off. Now we had to. And that's it. For your efforts, you will get the Glintstone Crisp, one of the most amazing weapons in this game, in my opinion. I love this weapon. Even though it doesn't fit the Indiana Jones build, it's a dagger that shoots a magical projectile out, and it's pretty damn awesome, guys. And the design of the dagger is beautiful as well. I just absolutely love this dagger. It's my favorite dagger in the game, even more than the Misericord, even though we use the Misericord more. But we want to exhaust our dialogue and get the Glintstone Crisp. Now here's where I forgot to exhaust our dialogue, so we have to exhaust it completely. So we need to talk about Sellen again and the location. Once you get the Starlight Shards, you can rest at the Grace. And unfortunately for Sellen, it doesn't end well for her, as she will be transformed into this ball of whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It's pretty horrific, to be honest. A fate worse than death, maybe. You'll get her crown. You can buy sorceries from her if you still need to, but we've purchased all of them, I believe. And that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm sorry for my absence. I've been pretty sick.